Okay, it's 1 o'clock. My name is Jim Wrigley. We're going to give it another minute, and then at the 1:01 mark, we are going to get started. I'm with Deep Target, and for those of you joining, thank you for joining. Just so you know, we've had quite a few people show up today. 125 people actually. Didn't mean to click that. 125 people have gotten involved. So I see some people signing in, and I'll just give them another minute to get going, and then we'll get started. All righty. Okay, so I'm going to get started. My name is Jim Wrigley with Deep Target. It looks like the sign-ins are starting to slow down. So we are going to take you through. We had set this for an hour. We've done a couple of these today. I think I mentioned that we had over 125 people respond and register for this webinar. So a lot of interest in it. And we've done several others this morning and today, or this one is about Access Softtech. So we're really excited. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Again, my name's Jim Wrigley, and this is Jacob, who will be joining me in a minute. It's called How to Love Your Account Holders in the Digital Age. And I know we have a bunch of credit unions on, so we'll just talk members instead of account holders, although they're kind of interchangeable. And basically what I'd like you to do, I ask everyone to grab a pencil because there's a couple of tasks, and also your mobile phone, which is an easy one. I know you have that sitting very near you. But if you'll just write down at your credit union what financial well-being opportunities you want to approach to promote to your account holders using Access Digital. And the reason why I want you to do that is there is a way, which you're going to learn about in this session today. We call it loving on your account holders, but there is a way to take data from your core, and we'll be explaining all of this as we go, data from your core to personalize ads and deliver that message right on the Access Digital online and mobile application. So if you are famous for, and in fact, we had a New Mexico credit union the other day who said, we have the best CD rates in the entire state of New Mexico and nobody knows it. That's an example of something that I would want you to write down so that you get something specific out of this yourself as we go through it, because there is a way to promote those very specific things that you want to do. So we are calling this session How to Love Account Holders in the Digital Age. CEOs love it when you can accomplish this, and I'll tell you what this is. It's cross-selling. Now, I know the word cross-selling is a word that we use and also sometimes don't like. The truth is when you replace cross-selling with helping customers, so instead of saying cross-selling, instead of saying I'm really good at cross-selling, I'm really good at helping our members, that sounds a lot better. And in order to help the members, it all starts with an understanding of what their challenges are and what opportunities you have for them. And that is something that exists right now inside of your data. Now, the problem that you have, I think, as a digital banking executive, and that's most of the people that are registered for this session, the problem that you have is that these mobile and online applications need to be all things to all people. There's so many different features and functionalities that are there. This is one of them, but this is one of the most important ones because it answers the question, what do your account holders really want? And if you stop and think about what they really want, it's simple. If you're a member of a credit union, a member of your credit union, what they want to do is to improve their own financial well-being. That is probably the reason why they are a member of a credit union, because credit unions do some really good things for their members. And the really good things they do is offer great rates on various products and services that can improve their financial well-being. So what they are asking is this question right here. Show me that you know me. Basically, what we're suggesting to you is, and think about yourself. If you were to get advertising, wouldn't you want to get advertising that was specific to you? Wouldn't you want, and I'm going to replace a word here, wouldn't you want to get advocation of things that are good for you, that are topical to you, things that you're thinking about? Well, the way that you do that, that comes from personalization. And that personalization you can get when you leverage the data that you have about them that exists right in your core. Literally, I know a lot of people are looking, for example, for new deposits, and new deposit opportunities exist in the data right there in your core. All we have to do is look over that data and find people that may have deposits outside of the credit union or may have other money sitting around that they could turn into a high-yielding CD. So the idea here then is to go into your core and come up with some advertisements that shows them that you know who they are. On the left, you will see a generic ad, and this is quite common. It's an ad for a home equity line of credit. And I do like the line, turn your vision into reality. That's making the point that a home equity line of credit is a way to get a new kitchen or to put something on your roof. Or I'm sorry, a new roof on your home. But the idea is that if we're running an ad for a home equity line of credit to a renter, does that make much sense? The renter can't possibly buy a home equity line of credit, so that's an ad that a renter should never see. Well, your data is going to help us to know who is a renter and who is not a renter. And also, we have some access to data outside of the credit union to help us understand that as well. So what we're able to do then is, by using data, we're able to personalize an ad. And the ad on the right is a personalized ad. First of all, we're talking to Jordan directly. How do we know it's Jordan? Well, because Jordan is logged into the Access SoftDeck online or mobile application. So we already have that piece of data. We know who they are. So we can directly use their name, their first name, and we can tell Jordan not to miss out on a HELOC special. Then further, by knowing the data, we know that they have a mortgage and we know what the value of their home is. So with some simple math using the computers, we can come up with their current equity. And now you can see we show them that we know them because the ad on the right is a personalized ad. I will also make note that the shape of this ad, on these are actual ads on this page. The shape of the ad is different. Jacob Schaefer is going to join us to do a demo of the live system. We have two different ways of doing ads. One is in this shape, and it's actually three-dimensional, which he will explain. And the other is old-fashioned banner ads. Now, when I say old-fashioned banner ads, I did say there was some homework assignments, or be ready with your mobile phone. So if you'll go on to your your mobile application right now, just look and see what ad is running, or if there is an ad running. It is possible or even probable that there is a banner ad going. If not, we have a real opportunity, but if there is, it's probably going to be a generic ad, such as the one on top. We have great rates on our CDs. That's a good thing to tell people, because if people are looking for CDs, it's nice to know. It reminds them they're online. But now look at the ad below. And your 2.4% CD matures in March. You can see that that's data, and that's very specific to Anne. Anne might not know that her CD matures. And if you think about maturing CDs, very few people are sitting around going, I wonder if that CD has aged out past a year or 18 months or whatever was the term of the CD. And then further on the banner, we say we've got you covered. Auto renew with our 1 year 5.4% CD next month. And then there's a little click here button. So you can imagine running an ad like that is going to have a very good result, a better result than is the one that has the generic ad. Also, we call that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that to click ahead. So we call this word for listening and understanding our customer love, and that is what today's session is about. It is how to love your account holders in the digital age, and using your Access Digital platform, you actually can provide this love in a very easy way. So most Access Digital users are not capitalizing on their digital real estate. And I will just tell you that's actually a lie. And here's why that's a lie. Of all the people that are on Access Digital, over half, well more than half, currently use Deep Target as the marketing thing. The very thing that we're talking about today is installed right now in over half of the Access Digital users. So when my slide maker was making the slide, I read over this slide. I'm like, actually, most are using their digital real estate. If you're not using that digital real estate, the question is why not? And we'll explore this in the end, because there is a very simple way to do it. And the simple way to do it is right here in this three-step process. So what we do at Deep Target, and what this session is about, is using your data, as I mentioned, to have personalized ads. And in this section 1 down here, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into your core, think days, not weeks or months, but we're going to go into your core and capture some data so that we can do some data insights. So the first thing we do is we get the data down here and understand what it is. And then we do data insights to segment your member base into various products and services or buckets of opportunity that we see where they would have a high propensity to take advantage of the opportunity that you have for them. For example, if you had 50,000 members, what we would do is we might find 1,273 people that were ripe for an auto loan. And once we knew with our artificial intelligence and machine learning that they were ripe for the auto loan, because that's what the algorithm told us, we could then create multiple target campaigns. We could move to the Access Digital platform, which is this section right here, where we start to deliver online and mobile messaging that says, hey, we've got an auto loan for you, Rick, or however we wanted to word that. The nice thing is right now, when I said, look at your mobile phone to see what ad is running, right now, if you are running ads, you're probably running 1 to 5 ads. I believe that's all that can be done currently if you're only using the space holder for doing marketing on the Access Digital platform. With ours, if you had 50,000 members, we could do 50,000 different advertisements every single day. Now, we probably wouldn't do that. Probably what we would do is we would just take the 1,273 out of the 50,000 that seemed like a good fit for a high-yielding checking account. And we would then move to this step right here where we would deliver them and only them those personalized offers. Once, by the way, they take up the product, we stop running that ad. So if we've targeted them for an auto loan and they take out the auto loan, once again, it would make no sense to advocate an auto loan to a person that already has one. And so our system automatically changes the ad to the next best product or service that they would want to look at. The third thing that we do then is we measure and optimize the various campaigns. It is common with social media to be able to count impressions. That's how often they look at the advocation or advertisement. We can also count the clicks. That is common with social media as well. But we can take it one step further with a report called a growth grid, which will show you the actual account holder action that was taken. And when they take action, what I mean by that, they take out an auto loan, for example, or a high-yielding checking account. You make some amount of money on that particular product or service or that account that they took out. And we're able to put that onto a report so that you can see, after we understand your data and go all through this process, you can see exactly how much money you made from the various campaigns on a monthly basis. Now, usually I pause to take questions, but I'm just talking on a webinar here, so I'll just pause for 1 second while I bring this all home with a report. So this is a monthly report from an actual customer. You can see January of 24 is right here. They were running some ads, again, using their data. We targeted some people for consumer loans, and we found 21 people were able to actually take action in January. This is from a real customer on consumer loans because we personally targeted them. So they did not run any credit card advertisements. That's why this is a 0. They did not do any home equity loans. Interestingly enough, in this tough environment, they did advocate for mortgages to certain people, and they got 22 of them. So what we're then able to do is we're then able to take on average what you make on each of these various products and services. And you can see we can do deposit products, we can do commercial, not as important for many credit unions, but the idea is there are about 20 products and services, and we can put others on there if you have something specific that we're able to measure. So what we do to get to the money is we take the average amount that you make on, say, an auto loan, and then we count and we divide by 12 so that we get 1 month of revenue. I know an auto loan doesn't make revenue on a monthly basis. It makes it on across the life of the loan. But to get a directional influence sales number, we come up with that dollar amount, we put that in there, and then we're able to put it on this report. So a couple of things we know from this report. For sure, we can name the 442 members that took out these various products because our data, we had the data on a nightly basis. We just compare it to the data from the day before, and we can for sure know the 442 people that took out the various products and services. The 54,000 is an estimate, as I just described. We take an average per product, divide by 12 to come up with a monthly revenue generation number. The reason why we do that is I would like for you, again, as a homework assignment, to just write down what is it that we pay Access Softtech on a monthly basis for the entire platform. And I believe from other customers that you will see this $54,000, which is a live example, compares favorably to the amount of money that they pay to the company. So this will go a long way towards paying off almost the entire platform. In some cases, that is the case. So now that you've seen what it looks like on a monthly basis, I just want to broaden it. All this is the same report on an annual basis. As you can see, January of 23, February of 23, etc. Brought all the way out to the end, and I'll just come, the magic is down here in this right corner, but I just brought the right corner out on this left-hand side. This is an actual Access Softtech customer, 450 million in assets in 2023, factually using this service. They got 2,574 new product sales, and the breakout is shown on this screen. We put that monthly recurring revenue that was generated down. They made $205,000 a month from using the very program that we're talking about today. That is the power of digital marketing. That is the power of using personalization, using data. You can see the kind of money that you can make. Lost my cursor. So some different asset sizes, also an Access Softtech customer. Here's one that is 2 billion in assets and 5,780 products were sold. And then just to show you one more bigger one, here's one with 3.3 billion in assets. And obviously, the more assets you have, the more account holders you have, the more members you have, I should say, if you're a credit union, you can see that you can have very, very strong results. So with that, that's an introduction of what it is, that little slide where we collect the data. So basically, if you want to think of this in three ways, we collect the data, we then deliver the personalized messages, and we measure it. And with that is a good introduction for my friend Jacob, who is going to take you through a live demo of the backend system and also show you what it looks like on Access Softtech. And you'll start to see the reason why over 50% of all Access digital users are also using Deep Target. Jacob?
Yep, thanks, Jim. And if you wouldn't mind just enabling that screen share again for me, I'll get that set up.
That should go now.
Awesome, thank you. And so as this is loading right here, what I want to first do here today is I want to take you through a quick experience from the member perspective. So as Jim mentioned, we work with many clients today at Access Softtech, and so we're a great partner. We are the premier marketing solution for their digital banking platform. And so what that means is when we think about Access Digital, we're going to help you display these messages, and that's what you're seeing here. And so inside the digital banking environment, the very first thing I want to bring your attention to is that rotation feature. So this is what we call Spinfluence. It is a trademarked feature of Deep Target. We've gotten a lot of good feedback in terms of driving engagement with the product. And so it gets your eyes, it captures that attention of the users, and it draws that attention to the content that's rotating. And it has led to increased click-through rates for our clients who have switched it on. And so you do have the option on whether or not you want to use that feature. It works in online banking and mobile. And with each of these rotating contents, you'll be able to associate an individual URL for linking. So you'll be able to link your digital users, your members, to your website. You can link them to an external website. And actually, what the coolest feature of it all is we can do what we call deep linking. So as you kind of look at the various pages within your Access digital banking platform and you think about those that you have, we are able to associate links in this content to those various pages. So what that means is we can streamline processes. We can help make your digital banking platform more self-sufficient for all of your members, right? Because now we can display the e-statements ad and we can take them to the e-statements page where they turn that on, or to the deposit page or the transfers page, or even directly into an application for a product that you may be advertising for them. So it really streamlines that process for both the financial institution and for the account, making it easier on everyone. And so another piece of technology that we have is our 3D storyteller. And so this is more trademark technology. We call it financial education technology. You saw me click on one of those banners there to launch it in an interstitial format. You can see as it rotates here, it is completely 3D. We put a logo for the financial institution on the top of the cube, and that user is going to be able to click on the left and right side to engage with it. We can personalize all the content. We have our user Ford who's logged in, and we can also use video inside of this cube. And so this becomes very powerful as you don't often see video being used inside the digital banking environment, but it's something that's been getting a lot of great engagement from our clients. And so as they kind of roll out these videos, they've been doing cool things like putting the faces of the employees that are actually going to interact with these members in front of them inside of what I like to consider the digital branch, right? Your digital banking platform is an extension of all of that you offer at your credit union. And so to be able to do things like put small business lenders, people in various communities, mortgage officers, any type of person at the financial institution who may directly deal with a certain member because they go to this branch versus that branch, or they live in this zip code versus that zip code, becomes very powerful. We've also had clients get employees who will sing happy birthday and wish happy anniversaries. And what I actually think is the coolest one of them all is we'll have a few presidents who will actually film themselves giving a personalized welcome. And then inside of our system, we can go and we can target all of the users and the members who have joined within the last 30 days and actually show them that video so that they're getting that personalized welcome directly from the president of the financial institution. And so with that being said, I want to go ahead and transition over into our back office. We just looked a little bit at what the member is going to see when they engage with all of that content inside of the digital banking platform. So we took a look at the second thing of what the three things we do are. So now I want to transition into the third thing, which is where we really start to set ourselves apart. And this is with the reporting capabilities of the platform. So before I get too deep into this back office, I do want to say this is a live client of ours. They use Access Digital today and they display all of their content using Deep Target. So we do change the name to keep it anonymous, but we have a great relationship with all of our clients. And so Jim will kind of speak a little bit more to it here in just a moment. But when you think about and take a look at what I'm about to show you here in the back office, we do run this system in a number of different ways. And so you will get a account rep at Deep Target when you're a client, and that account rep can be as involved as you need them to be, right? We offer some services where that account rep can completely run your entire back office for you. We can train you up and we can run it in sort of a mixed fashion, or we can be completely hands off. And we do have some clients who prefer to run it themselves and they'll log in and they'll manage everything. So you can kind of have a varying level of involvement there from the Deep Target staff, and that'll be up to you. So when we log in, we are going to see some real data here, the number of impressions and clicks that are happening for these clients here so far today. You can also see the data freshness. And so we automate that data upload to come nightly. And so for this client, we have received data within the last 24 hours. So we can see that here. The last thing I want to show are some interactive performance metrics. So we can see the average number of logins it takes to get one click. We can see the average number of impressions it takes to get one new account. And this is a new feature here. We call it our key revenue indicator. And so what this is showing you is it's tying into that growth grid that Jim was just sharing. And this is actually showing you how you perform against other Deep Target peers. And so what we mean by that is we're first looking at your asset size, and then we're going to compare your asset size to other financial institutions using Deep Target specifically on their Access Digital platform to show you, how is your revenue generation, the number of accounts that you're opening comparing to other financial institutions doing the same thing. And so then when we talk about all of our campaign management, it's very easy to not only add a new campaign, but manage all of your existing ones. And so Jim did mention earlier, he said something along the lines of that we'd be able to serve up, an infinite number of messages. So if you have 50,000 members, we can serve up 50,000 messages. And we absolutely can do that. And you would be able to manage them all from one screen, just like this. And so when we take a look at this client, I really like what they're doing here because it shows you the power of the targeting and the ability to get very hyper targeted inside this content. And so they had a goal in 2024 to drive investment meetings with their investment teams. And for each of the markets and branches, they have different team members who run that investment group. And so what they've actually done is across different markets and across different ages within that markets, they are actually showing different messages. So depending on whether you're saving for your grandkids, saving for retirement, saving for your family future, or saving for your own future, school, whatever that may be, you'll see a different message with that wording, and you'll also see a different person who would be the investment officer you'd be meeting with if you chose to set up that meeting. And as I scroll down here, we continuously see that as well across the markets. And all of these campaigns in green are active and turned on for the end user. So as I continue to scroll down here, we can see not only the investment campaigns being hyper targeted, but other opportunities that are available just for being a member, like a scholarship, as well as other products such as checking accounts, the ability to opt out any users that may not want to see advertising. But all of these campaigns are active, and so we can manage them all from the singular location, and we can do what we call design once and deploy anywhere. So when we think about these campaigns, we're creating out the images, and so then once we upload those images, we can deploy them across the channels, online banking, mobile banking, deploy them on a website in a non-targeted fashion, or even with our on the go, which uses your current email platform and your current, if you do any SMS and text message marketing, we can integrate those ads into those platforms and help you display personalized content through those mediums and then report on the back end for you. And so that's a little bit about the campaign management and how we help you design once and deploy everywhere. And so once you've deployed those ads and they've been out there running, you're going to want to evaluate the success. And so deep target, we do that in a very specific way here, and we do it kind of on a one-to-one level so that you can see on a uniqueness that complete cycle through the engagement process. So when we think about this report, which we call a campaign category analytics, we're going to take a look at not only impressions and clicks, but we're doing it on a unique level. So these are all different individuals who have clicked and all different individuals who have seen the campaign. And so now I can truly see that when Jacob qualifies for an audience, did Jacob see the ad? Did Jacob click on the ad? And did Jacob take out the product? And so we tie that all together by tracking the engagement dates. So we would notice Jacob was served up the auto loan ad he qualified for on February 1st. We notice he clicked it on February 1st. And now he has a new auto loan on February 14th. And so we can go back and tie that, and we call that an influenced sale or an influenced conversion. We can also distinguish across the impressions and the clicks which channel that's coming in from. So depending on which where you deploy that ad, you'll be able to see what channel that engagement came from. And we can also drill down within the categories. So using that investment category is a great example. We saw how that this financial institution hyper targets across age and market. We can pull up all of the different investment accounts together in one report just by selecting that category as opposed to an overarching report like we're looking at here. The very last thing I want to mention is we can pull all of these clicks and impressions out of the system. And so we can export that at any time, and we can customize the data inside that report that we're exporting. So not only can we see that there was 900 clicks on the certificate campaign, but we can see that Jacob, who goes to branch 1 and lives in Huntsville, is one of the clicks. And then we can tie that into the ID. So we also can tell you that that's member ID 123, for example. And so as we track that engagement here, we can set up and automate and schedule that list of clicks to be delivered at any frequency to someone at the financial institution. So whether that's daily, weekly, monthly, we can set up an automated all of this engagement to come in an automated fashion. And so a lot of our clients choose to do that to see, campaign engagement. Is there negative trends, positive trends in these campaigns? And also send leads directly off to the lending team so that they can interact and see, hey, here's who's clicking on the mortgage campaign or the investment campaign in this specific financial institution's instance, right? So then once we track all of those engagements and those leads, we can then show you the influence sales. So we'll be able to, and as this is loading, we'll be able to track the number of accounts that actually come from those leads. And so I talked a little bit about it already. And so the way that we do that is we look at the account open date and we track for that engagement happening before the account was opened. And so what we can do is we can look at any date range here within this window by selecting it. And for this specific example right here, we're looking at a 3-month window, and there was 885 total new accounts directly tied to engagement in that 3-month window. And as I hover over each of these points here, we can see exactly how many were in each month. And we can see that this financial institution has been trending up the last 3 months in terms of open accounts. And as Jim mentioned, we can see all of these individual accounts, all 885, and everything about them that has been opened. And we can customize that again using this gear icon. And so we can tell you that Jacob was qualified for the certificate ad. He saw it 3 times, he clicked on it 2 times, and he opened up a 6-month certificate on this date, right? And that he goes to branch 1 and he lives in Huntsville, and his email is jacob@deeptarget. And so we can deploy all that. We can download it all here. And DeepTarget even has an open API for data. So you can actually pull all this data out, the clicks, the impressions, the influence sales. And so what a lot of our clients will do is they'll take that into an internal dashboard or another BI system if that's preferred, or even those leads, they'll have that automated to go directly into a CRM such as Salesforce. And so the very last thing I want to talk about relates to the growth grids, which is the final type of report that Jim was talking about that we offer. And so while I'm not going to bring one up again, since he already showed them, I do want to talk about average revenue values. So in those growth grids, we were able to estimate ROI and revenue coming back to the financial institution. And this is the way that the financial institution can control what those values are. So under the settings, we can click on revenue values right here. And then inside here, we do have a list of default values. So we'll help you if you don't know. And we've gathered these by talking to our clients and researching some industry standards. But the financial institution has the ability to come in here and change these numbers at any time for any given reason. And so we do understand things like market, interest rates, and other things out of your control will affect the amount of revenue that is generated. And that's why this is a real-time window right here where you can adjust these values. So if I wanted to adjust this and click save, I could immediately come back to my management report and generate it again, and we'll use my new values. So this allows you to edit these and have complete control over the estimated revenue that's being generated by your financial institution. And so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Jim.
Thank you, Jacob. So I have good news for everybody. We had blocked an hour and we need 10 more minutes. So if you can hang on, that would be great. Get some time back to catch up on some stuff, but a few other things to show you, and then we'll be on our way. So the first thing I want to say, webinars are interesting because we're used to two-way conversations and it's just a webinar. But if you have questions, please do type them in the chat. I am going to take a peek into the chat in a minute as we close this out, but a few more pieces of information to share, and then we can go on with our day. So rapid implementation, what does that mean? It means that we take the data, as mentioned, from your core. That is a project that usually gets completed in the first week after you sign up. Notice I said the first week. It is not difficult. There are some security issues with data, so we do have to consider some things like that. We haven't had anybody not go forward with DeepTarget that wanted to because of data security issues. We are SOC 2 compliant and all the things that you would expect. But we do help you to get the data out of your core into our system so that we can do that back office system that Jacob just said, and we can run it very effectively. And this is probably my favorite slide of the whole thing because many credit unions are small. We have a thing around here called marketing team of one. And very often we hear that a credit union is under-resourced. They just have one person or two, or just really not that many resources to take care of things. With DeepTarget, there is an option to get us as a managed service for far less than the cost of a full-time equivalent. And what that means is you're going to get a digital marketing specialist like Jacob, that's actually what he does for a living, on your team that's going to help you to run the system that you just saw. What's nice about that isn't just the physical help that you get. You also get intellectual help, meaning you could simply say, Jacob, we got to get more deposits into our credit union. And Jacob is going to know what his 20 other credit unions that he works with on Access Digital are also doing that's successful, and also some things that were unsuccessful. So you're not only going to get the help from the work, like get the work done, but you're going to get some intellectual ideas from our co-pilots to help you fly the plane. And I do like the co-pilot analogy because of the fact that some people do have marketing resources, are interested in the data, do have their own strategies, do have their own lists. Well, guess what? In that case, you still get a co-pilot to assist you, to keep an eye on you, to bounce things off of, and to train you to fly the plane yourself. Because we do have some customers, and we go every year to the annual conference that Access Digital has. We have a Digital Impact Award, and usually those Digital Impact Award winners are people that manage this entire thing themselves and use it to have some really good success. And several Access Digital people have won that award. So with that, I just want to say, just if you were wondering, we have about 200 financial, a little more actually than 200 financial institutions on the program today of all asset sizes. The smallest one is one we spoke to yesterday, an interesting week that we're having. They were under 40 million in assets and they're interested in our services. We spoke to them for the first time yesterday. And tomorrow, there is actually a bank that's on a different platform, but they're 27 billion in assets that are also looking at deep targets. So we really run the gamut on that. So just as we wrap up here, CEOs do love it when you can do cross sales. They all want to do cross sales. People don't often like the word. Just think of advertising as advocation. And it all starts with an understanding of the account holders' challenges and opportunities. And that is in your data. If you're not using your data now, then you should be using your data, and we can help you do it. As a final couple of slides, we did in our email outreach offer some free reports about growth, because we're the company that helps you. We call it growth as a service, and we're the company that will help you grow. So we do run reports when someone signs up. We're going to give it to you for free, even if you don't sign up. And they are deposit growth reports, which looks at your peers and looks at how you're doing so that we can see areas where we can start to do some advocation of some deposit services to your members. And we also have a similar report for loan growth, does the same thing, looks at loan opportunities and compares to peers. And again, we use these reports ourselves to help drive our customers' success forward. We are giving these away for free to everyone who attended. And if you have questions, I'm going to show you how to get those reports on the next slide. If you have questions, I would tell you, and if you did write down what your financial well-being opportunities you want to promote, it's really easy to get in touch with us. I'm going to give you 3 ways, actually. One, you can take a picture with your phone of my email, and you can email me directly, or you can call me directly. Or I will say this for sure, we have a tremendous relationship with Access Softtech. So you can call your Access Softtech rep, and I would actually love that to hear, I get a call from them that someone attended the webinar and called them and said that we're interested. Even if you call me directly, we're going to bring your Access Softtech rep in as well. We have a tremendous partnership with them. Again, as I mentioned, more than half of the people that use that platform also use Deep Target. So we will be in coordination with the folks at Access Softtech if you want to do this. And when you call, and if you call, just make sure you ask me about your discount for attending. We do offer discounts to people. We offered that when we sent out the email, and we'll just discuss that individually if you want to get more information. And so the final slide to get more information is simply scan this QR code. It will take you right to the page where you can put in your name and all that information to get your deposit and growth report and some ideas from us about what you want to promote. And with that, just looking at the time, look at me. I like to give you 15 minutes back. I do have a little Q&A. And one of the questions we have from, I'm hoping I'm saying it right, Tanya, did I say it right? Jacob, are you going to answer this question about email?
I can take that. Yep. So to answer that question, well, we don't currently have a dedicated email product. What we do is we integrate into whichever product you're using to send your emails today. So the way that you schedule them and the way that you send them out would not change, but we would work with you to include a link that would call in the 3D content and the banner content that you can design in our platform.
Excellent. Okay. Other questions? I don't see any others. I do want to ask one question that we often get, and that's, do you have references? And the reason why I want to ask that question is we absolutely do. You saw today 3 live customers of Access Softtech, their actual growth reports. We do have a good relationship with our existing accounts, and they're always happy to share their results. because the results have been so strong. So if this is interesting to you and you want to check with your account rep at Access Softtech or check with some other people that are already using it, that is also a good step in the direction of learning how to love your account holders in the digital age. I do see one more question came in. Does this work on iPhones? Jacob, you want to go ahead and talk about that? Carol Griffin.
Yep. And so when it comes to the mobile piece of Deep Target, it does work on both Androids and iPhones. You'll be able to serve up the same targeted banner ads, personalized banner ads. And you'll also be able to use the 3D Storyteller Cube inside of the digital or the mobile environment as well. And so the main difference there is going to be that instead of clicking on it with the mouse like you saw me today on the online banking platform, is that you'd be swiping at it with your finger in that mobile environment. So much more social media inspired there on the phone.
Great. Okay. All right. I'm looking at the chat. I see no more questions. I do want to thank everyone for attending. It's been and happy Valentine's Day, everyone. We've scheduled 4 of these today. Over 125 people responded to the how to love their account holders on the digital age. So obviously it was a topic that was important, and I want to thank you for attending. And with that, I will wrap up our webinar. Thank you for attending. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.